What's up guys, welcome to the ultimate Looksmaxxing guide. In this video we're going to break down 7 things as well as 2 bonuses that you can do to significantly improve your attractiveness to women. Alright, so I wanted to do this video to counteract a lot of the black pill doomerism I see going around. It's like, oh bro, I'm a 5, I'm screwed, la la la. But everyone can improve their sexual market value, their looks, by at least 1.5 to 2 points. So if you're a 5, you have the potential to become a 7. If you're a 3, you can become a 5 and so on, right? So everyone can really improve their looks if they're willing to do it. The problem is a lot of people either are not sure what to do or they're not willing to do the work. In this video, we're going to show you all the steps that you can do. We're going to break down all the steps, all the things that can make a difference in terms of how you look to girls. Let's start with the first one. Overall fitness, right? And overall fitness not only affects how your body looks, it actually affects how your face looks through 3 ways. 1 is your testosterone, 2 body fat, and 3 your neck muscles, right? So again, necks are, thick necks are attractive to girls, right? So if you're lifting weights, you're doing squats, stuff like that, your neck is going to become thicker, right? Also, if you're doing compound lifts, that's going to increase your testosterone. And if you get to single digits body fat, your face will just look a lot better. Every single person looks better when they're single digits body fat. And that's not just their body, that's also their face. So that's why you have to start off with overall fitness, right? Your goal should be to get to single digits body fat and put on maybe 30, 35 pounds of muscle, right? And that's not going to happen overnight. That's going to take years and years of consistent training. I also recommend that every single person gets their testosterone levels checked and their IGF-1 levels checked. IGF-1 is the hormone that's basically responsible for your human growth hormone, right? And if you have very low IGF levels, like, like 100 or something like that, that is going to make an effect on how you look. Your skin won't look as good. Your face will be a little puffy, right? You're just not going to look as good. I can tell you with myself, when I was taking human growth hormone and then I went through this period where I got off it for a month, while my natural growth hormone production was rebounding, my face looked pretty bad. It looked like there was almost like holes in my jaws. But then when it rebounded, I saw a massive difference, right? And now that I have good IGF-1 levels, my face looks a lot better. So those are 2 things I recommend you get checked. And don't listen to what, the typical, whatever conventional wisdom was. It's like, oh, as long as you're above 300 total testosterone, you're good. No, ideal testosterone for a man, especially in their 20s or early 30s, should be around 800 or 900. So if you're at like 300 or 400, you may technically fall in within the range, but that's still not optimal. And then once you know what your testosterone levels are, then you can make the decision whether you want to work on it naturally or artificially, through TRT. And which one of those you take is going to heavily depend on your circumstance. It's going to depend on how old you are, what your goals are, whether you're trying to have kids, all these factors. There's a lot of misconceptions about TRT, but that's not going to be the focus of this video. So again, the goal is to get your testosterone levels up, whichever way, whether that's artificially or naturally, right? And again, there are natural ways to improve your testosterone. 2 supplements I would recommend is zinc and boron right off the bat, and also get to single digits body fat, right? And improve the thickness of your neck. Moving on, number 2, neck exercises. So neck actually really affects how you look to girls, right? Women like a guy with a thick neck, and you can actually work on that directly at the gym. So not only are you doing compound lifts, you can directly train your neck. The first easiest one is to do shrugs, right? That will train your traps, and having strong defined traps is going to make you look better, make your whole face area look better. The second way is you can do direct neck exercise. So I see people doing this, and there's many different ways. You can do resistance bands, and you're kind of just moving, but basically you're training in every direction. Training to the left, training forward, training to the right, training back, right? You're using resistance bands, or you can use like a weight while you're laying down, but you want to train your neck, especially if you have a thinner neck, because that's going to make you look more attractive. Number 3, jawline improvement, right? So you can actually improve your jawline through several things. The one that most people commonly talk about is mowing, and I used to be very skeptical of that, but then I saw photos that MINOXIDIL showed me, and I highly recommend his channel, by the way, for improving your attractiveness. I looked at the photos, and there's actually a clear difference before he started mowing and after. You can see in the photos here. And also what he recommends is doing direct jawline exercise. So you put like a resistance ball in your mouth and just chew on it, right? So you can see more of that about that on his channel, right? I'm not going to go too deep into that, but you can actually over time improve your jawline. You can have that thicker jaw, the more chiseled jaw that women seem to like, right? So it's one of those things that you can actually improve on. Number 4, hair. Right? Hair also makes a big difference. Kind of ironic coming from me, but believe it or not, I am better when it comes to hair than every single person in my family, right? I come from a long line of bald Russian men, right? So my dad, when he was my age, was bald. My mom's dad was bald, right? So I'm definitely doing a lot better than most people in my family do due to our genetics. And so there's 2 things you can do very easily to improve your hairline that's scientifically proven to work. First one is MINOXIDIL. You just rub it in your scalp twice a day. And the second one is DERMAROLLING. You do that once a week. And there was actually a very interesting study that was done. You can see it here that shows you that when you combine MINOXIDIL and dermarolling, you have a very, very strong combination that can actually make a drastic difference when it comes to your hairline, you know, in the span of like 3-4 months, right? So those are two things I recommend. But personally, I do one more thing, and I have this peptide that I use. It's called GHKCU. It's like kind of like a purple foam, and I rub it in. And I feel like that one has been a game changer when it comes to my hair. A lot of people have been saying that my hairline is looking better nowadays, and I think I directly attribute it to GHKCU because it's the only thing I started doing in the last 2 months. It's really helped for the hair loss in the back and also helped a bit with the hair loss in the front. So once again, you're going to combine minoxidil with dermarolling and GHKCU, which you can get from any functional medicine doctor. You can also order it online, but I recommend you get it from a pharmacy, and that will make a difference. And also, while you're working on your hair gains, you also want to get a good haircut. So how bad your hair loss will be determined by what kind of haircut you're rocking. I recommend a fade or a skin fade. That's typically what looks the best for the largest amount of people, right? So again, fade or skin fade. However, if you're at a point where it's just like you have too much hair gone, like half of your scalp is missing, at that point, you're better off just shaving your head and going bald. But you have to make that decision. It's like, hey, am I going to fight for the hair that I have and try to make it work, which is kind of where I'm at, or am I so like far off and I don't want to do a hair transplant that I'm just going to go bald, right? But what you don't want to be is somewhere in the middle, right, where you're kind of balding but you're not fully balding, right? Again, you have to kind of figure out which direction you want to go in. And again, if you're bald, that doesn't mean it's game over, right? There's actually a lot of women who are trying to bald guys. However, if you're bald, it's even more important that you put on muscle, right? Because typically when women think of bald guys, they think of people like Vin Diesel with The Rock, who are all celebrities who are bald, but they're jacked. So again, it's important to put on muscle for everyone, but if you're bald, it's even more important for you. Number 5, beard. So your beard can actually make a huge difference in how your face looks. Believe me, I'm significantly less attractive when I don't have my facial hair. A few things when it comes to beard. The first one is you want to have more beard than mustache. I see people make this mistake all the time, right? So they'll have like a pretty thick mustache and a thinner beard. That doesn't look good. The beard has to be thicker than the mustache, right? So the mustache has to be thinner than the beard. I keep saying this because it's very important. The second mistake is when you bring the line of your beard too low. That just kind of makes you look like a chopstick, right? Or whatever, like you look like a pork chop. You want to keep the line for your beard as high as possible, right? So again, a lot of barbershops, when you just tell them like, yeah, just trim up my beard, they'll go really low and they'll bring it down lower. I've experimented with this. I can tell you firsthand, it looks a lot better when the line is higher. So don't let them, shave your thing too low. And the third thing, which I would say is, again, if you're having a hard time growing a beard, and I used to be in that category, you can do the same things for hair as you would do for hair. So you can do minoxidil and dermarolling, and that works really, really well. My beard used to be very, very patchy, right? And then again, I did minoxidil dermarolling, and now it's totally fine. And now I don't even have to do minoxidil for my beard because it's already at a point where it's pretty good. So again, those two things work. So again, everything you can do for your hair, you can actually also do for your beard. Also, as a last resort, people do beard transplants. Yes, those exist. It's basically like a hair transplant for your beard. But if you follow minoxidil and dermarolling and GHKCU, you probably won't need to do it. Number 6, teeth whitening. Teeth are very, very important to girls. And I really realized this when I started doing street interviews and I was going up to girls and saying, what is the most attractive body part? And you're not gonna believe how many women said teeth, right? They were like, no, teeth for me is the most important. I'm like, come on, what is it really? They're like, no, teeth. Women really, really care about your teeth. So there's several things you can do with that. The biggest one is getting teeth whitening, right? You want to have your teeth be very pearly white. Like the more yellow they are, the least attractive. Also doing regular cleanings, will kind of get the, dunk off. And of course, if your teeth are like all messed up, you can go to a dentist or an oral surgeon and have them basically line up your teeth. But typically, it won't come to that. Typically, just having your teeth whitened will do the trick. Number 7, getting a tan. Every single person looks better, or at least every single white person looks better with a tan. Now, of course, if you're like brown or black, then don't worry about this part. But if you're a white person, then yes, you will look better with a tan. You can either, just hang out in the sun, which is probably ideal, or go to a tanning salon and do a few sessions, but you will look better with a tan. Just don't overdo it. Now, there's 2 bonus things, which I didn't want to mention as, the top 7, but I think they are important. Fashion, right? So fashion will determine how attractive you look in general, right? So you want to get shirts that fit you really well. So a website that I like to use is cutsclothing.com. I find that their stuff fits really well. This is a website, this is a shirt I got from there. It's a little bit pricey, but again, their stuff fits really well. You want to have shirts that sit nice and snug on your body. They're not too loose. You want to have pants that are a little bit looser, but still not too loose, right? So you can take a look at some fashion guides you can see online. I think there's Alpha M has pretty good stuff on that. But again, you don't need fancy clothes, you don't need expensive name brand. The only thing that really matters is how well does the shirt sit on your body? How well do the pants sit on on your body. I personally don't like doing too many colors. I like to do either like white pants, black shirt, or black pants, white shirt, or something like that. I like contrasting colors. There's also like a preference when it comes to that style preference. And the last one is tattoos. So when you're walking around the street, at least in Miami, anytime you see a guy with a really hot girl who's not like a sugar daddy, like a guy her age, always do they have tattoos. So there's clearly something to this. Women like men with tattoos. Now, you don't have to overdo it. You don't have to get your whole face tatted up and everything else. Typically, what you want to do is get your, your arm and your forearm tatted, right? You can do your back, but you don't want to do the neck or the face because that looks really, really trashy. Also, I do not recommend doing the hands. That also kind of looks trashy. So again, having a sleeve or just having a few tattoos will improve your sexual market value by at least half a point, make you look more daring. You kind of look more like a bad boy. So if you combine these things, you put on muscle, you get a few tattoos, you get a tan, you get good fashion, you do your neck strengthening exercise so your neck looks pretty thick, you take care of your beard, you take care of your hair, right? Everything is on point. You can actually look significantly better than you do at this point in time. Again, every single person can improve their sexual market value by at least 1.5, 2 points. It's just that most people aren't willing to do the work. All right, hope you guys found this video valuable. And the last but most important part to becoming more attractive to girls is smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and clicking the bell for notification, and sharing this video with a friend, because on this channel we will always give you practical, no BS advice. Also check out MINOXIDIL. I did an interview with him. It was really good stuff. He also has a lot of good practical Looksmaxxing advice on his channel. Make sure you guys also check out a brand new PWF Clips channel. We're taking all the best parts from debates and podcasts and putting them on there, all the good highlights. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.